Hey there, I thought you might like a peek inside my process of making scented Advent tapers. Each one has a different scent and you can use them in your house, in your Advent wreath. At the same time, I'm also going to make these beautiful Christmas fir tree scented candles for your Advent wreath after Advent is over or anytime in the Christmas season. I'll also share thoughts on overcoming insecurity and my journey with that lately, so welcome. One of the biggest lessons I'm learning in my walk with God and in walking towards becoming a mature Christian is that the emotions that I kind of want to shy away from, like grief or fear, or in this case, insecurity, that I actually need to lean into them and bring them to light and to allow God to heal them. That's been kind of the journey of my spiritual walk as an adult. And so I want to share with you my recent insecurity episode and how God has been healing that. A lot of people, I think that I am a very confident person, and so it may be a surprise to some people who know me in real life that I am a very deeply insecure person, but I've actually been exposing kind of the root cause of that lately, because insecurity really is a symptom of a deeper issue, a deeper problem. And so bringing that to light and examining that in the light of truth has been really helpful in gaining actual confidence. So let us dive in. The most recent saga started when I published my last 2 YouTube videos. So 2 videos ago, I took a pivot with my ministry and I decided that I was going to share the DIYs that I was going to be doing on our new construction home anyway, and I was going to publish them to YouTube to try to make the content more engaging, because honestly, that's the kind of content that I look for when I'm tired and I want to just chill out and relax at the end of the day. I find it very relaxing to watch people make things pretty. I put out the first video, which was overhauling and finishing off my mudroom and pantry, and it was a roaring success by my usual standards. The algorithm loved it. I got a nice dopamine hit from a boost of subscribers and comments and likes. It was great. And then I worked very hard on the next video, probably put 9 or 10 hours into editing that. And it was a complete dud by comparison. The algorithm didn't show it to as many people. It got nowhere near, probably 15% of the number of views and almost no new subscribers. And I went into insecurity mode instantly. Whenever I saw my friends that week, I felt like these words of insecurity, this need for validation and affirmation just came roaring out of me, and I was kind of unloading on all of my friends. And I hate doing that. I hate feeling this insecurity, especially because I don't rely on YouTube for my livelihood. It's not like my family is going to, go into poverty over not having this, as many views as my usual. And so I felt just a lot of shame over even feeling so insecure. I was like, this is such a small problem. I have a wonderful community. I have a wonderful husband. I have wonderful children, a beautiful house. Why is this bothering me so much? And as I was unloading on my husband one night, and he was listening very patiently, God bless him, even though he was really tired, I was feeling that sense of self-judgment over having this feeling of insecurity. And then suddenly a deeper truth popped out. And it was this. I've had this feeling since I was a preteen, since I was very young, that I just have some piece of my brain that is missing. I don't have the information that I need to achieve success, to get what I want, to give people what they want, to make it all happen and make the grade. There's something that's just missing there, and I cannot figure it out, and I feel like I never am going to be able to. And once that truth was out there, it made sense that this creative endeavor that should have just been pure joy was actually something where I was identifying the number of likes and comments and shares and views with my actual identity and my worth. And then once we had that deeper belief out in the open, I could start to think about it and pray about it and really examine it in the light of truth. And so that's the first thing. After you get to the deeper thing that's bothering you, hold it up in the light of truth. And what do you find? For me, I am Catholic life coach training with Metanoia Catholic, and part of what we do is a daily journaling exercise, 7 different exercises. And one of those exercises is called a thought recon, like a reconnaissance, like you explore your thoughts around a particular topic and you just write down whatever comes to mind. Then after you do that, you look at the facts. And the facts are that as soon as I start to look at this from a reasonable point of view, the facts are that I've lived a very creative life. I've had deep and meaningful connections with people. I'm living a very rich and full life, and there's nothing missing. it's really only this feeling, this kind of belief that there's something missing. And I also was able to trace where that feeling came from pretty effectively after I identified it. When I was a preteen, my parents chose to raise my siblings and me in a non-traditional way, not really participating in typical American culture. We didn't watch TV shows or movies or listen to popular music in the 90s. And honestly, that's a gift because my siblings and I are now all very creative entrepreneurs and self-starters, and we have a very rich interior life because we weren't watching screens all the time. So it truly was a gift from my parents. But at the time, that and kind of moving around for my dad's military career, we moved 7 times, so I was always the new kid trying to fit in and trying to find acceptance. And at the time, I remember feeling kind of excluded because I didn't get a lot of the popular culture references that all of these new people that I wanted to be my friends had in common. That was kind of their way of bonding. And I was like left out from that. So I always just felt all the way back then that there was something missing in me. So I started bringing this belief really to prayer and asking God to heal this belief. And I was standing in the woods on our property. We have 5 acres, and it's just so beautiful back in the woods. I was watching the sunset for a moment. I asked my husband if I could just go outside and breathe, take a break from all of the emotion of our 4 children, who I love, but it's a lot. And so as I did that, I was watching the sunset, and what I was watching was absolutely spectacular, the colors and the tree line and everything. And I suddenly realized that the crickets chirping were such an important part of that whole scene. And yet I wasn't really necessarily listening intentionally to the crickets. They were just there. And without them, the scene would have felt so eerie. And so in true, humility and in true understanding of what my ministry is, I started to understand, this is really for God. I'm like the little crickets chirping in the background sometimes. I'm not the sunset. Nor am I the trees, nor am I the clouds in the sky. Like, I am the little cricket that's singing his praises, and I am a valuable contribution, even if I'm only a small contribution. And truly, this ministry is for him. Once I take myself out of the equation a little bit and my own insecurities, and I can start to heal from them, then I start to realize that, the most important thing truly is to give glory to God in all of this, in everything I do in my life. And then it just takes the pressure off of me to be perfect and to do everything right all the time. What a great, beautiful feeling. The other thing that I want to share is about confidence and achieving confidence and where that really comes from. Saint Therese, I'm reading a little book about her spirituality. She had humility, true humility, but that doesn't mean just self-abasement and a realization of our own insecurities and our own failures. What it really is spiritually, it's necessary to also have perfect confidence in God. And St. Therese was like a little child who would just take God's face in her hands and say, God, Father, I need this. Understanding that he knew her insufficiencies. And so he would give it to her because he was her father who loved her. And I'm coming to realize that true confidence, when we have this insecurity, it's not just self-abasement. It's having complete and total confidence in God. So please pray for me on my spiritual walk, and I will pray for you on yours. Thanks so much for watching. God bless.